Good morning. Welcome back to Encyclopedia.zone. My name is Don Jolly. I am a freelance writer whose work has appeared in Kaleidotrope magazine, Planetary Stories magazine, among others. And today, you might as well call me Disney Don because I'm here to talk about all the latest and greatest news that's come out of the D23 Disney Consumer Exhibition, whatever the fuck it is, where they announce a ton of fucking new projects and try to sell you on their fucking streaming service and just inundate the fucking internet with Disney news. Fucking Disney news is coming out of fucking every pore. It completely eliminates presidential election news from the fucking Twitter feed, from my Twitter feed anyway. It fucking scours the internet, takes over YouTube. Like fucking Disney is the biggest entertainment conglomerate in the history of the world, and they have the ability, and dare I say it, the right to take over all of our heads for about a week in order to promote their new slate of extremely charismatic products. And so I am fucking super excited to talk about all of the great news that's come out of D23. So let's fuck man, I'm so excited. Let's dive in. Let's dive into this incredibly entertaining and not at all evil corporations output. All the great products that we have to look forward to over the coming years. First off, holy shit. Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Whoa, it's coming. They have the main character from the movie. She's in a black robe and she's holding Darth Maul's lightsaber. Everybody's excited. Even people who hate it. I was watching the videos about the episode 9 thing yesterday. Like I watched Critical Drinker, a couple other ones. Like I do think it is of utility to fucking talk shit about the Disney company. Obviously, because I'm making a video doing it right now. But it just really frustrates me, man, how like they have this amazing ability. I think just because they like have such a fine control over over fucking PR apparatus, and they have so much fucking money to promote this work, and they own so many fucking properties. Like there's so many different vectors that they can attack you with when they do one of these D23 like events. Like I really resent how much they're able to just like immediately command attention from all quarters of the independent and the non-independent media. Like Disney could just turn on a fucking faucet and you know take the organs of mass media and use them to their advantage. Even the organs of mass media that are devoted to talking shit about them and their products. Like whether you love Disney or you hate Disney, you're talking about Disney this week. Even I'm doing it. And man, I feel fucking mind controlled. I've been feeling mind controlled a lot lately. And it really bothers me. So, episode 9. Anything interesting to say about this? Not really. The most interesting thing, the most interesting of all the uninteresting things, is that they released this poster, and I don't know if you've seen any of these images, like the marketing for episode 9 that they've been using is extremely heavy on nostalgia, because Star Wars marketing is always heavy on nostalgia. I remember back in the 1990s when I was a kid and they were doing the re-release, the special edition Star Wars movies. They were, they had this fucking narration in the commercials, like once in a generation. It's the most amazing thing that's ever going to happen. Like Star Wars has always been Star Wars marketing, at least since the 90s, since the re-release, since like Lucasfilm was like orienting itself towards the production of the prequels. Star Wars marketing has been about this idea that Star Wars is a legacy, not just a story about legacies, but it is a legacy like for you and your family, because statistically everybody in your family loved Star Wars at some point. You have some kind of personal association with it. So they want you to have this deep, nostalgic connection with the story and with the product. And, I suppose that I do. I guess it worked. But all the marketing material for Star Wars Episode 9 has been very heavy on this nostalgia. The trailer that they released is like mostly clips from the old movies that people liked. And then at the very end, they show you like 15 seconds of the new characters that, in general, I think people could probably give a shit about, even though they do make a ton of money. But I saw one of these as part of this nostalgic marketing. I think I saw on Twitter like some vaguely associated Disney account posted all six movie posters for the original trilogy, like the beautiful painted original trilogy posters, and then the prequel posters, which all kind of have the same style, but they are like they're illustrated. I think they are painted all by the same artist, and they kind of the not quite as exciting as the original trilogy, but like definitely executed with a great degree of skill and care. And then they've got the posters for the three Disney movies, like their trilogy, and they're just Photoshop hack jobs. They look like Adam Sandler posters. And this is the poster for Episode 9, right fucking here. And yeah, it looks like a Photoshop hack job. It looks really like shoddy and inconsequential, and it's got Emperor Palpatine hanging out in the background there. Uh, and the interesting thing is, people on fucking Twitter, and like I don't know, this isn't confirmed. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that's not like directly confirmed because like why would anybody directly confirm this? But people have been taking images of a Emperor Palpatine Hot Toys action figure and overlaying it with the weird Emperor Palpatine Photoshop that's been used on the poster, and they match up like almost exactly. Like they fucked with the eyes a little bit, but I think it's pretty clear that they used a promotional image of this action figure to put together this photo collage poster, which is just like it's emblematic of I think Disney's entire approach to Star Wars. Like they just do not give a shit. I mean, I'm sure that there's individual artists and craftspeople, whatever. I'm sure the craft services guy, like maybe he like really takes pride in his job. But Jesus fucking Christ, like in general, like their handling of this quote unquote brand, like they don't give a fuck. And they think that you, the person that is considering buying a ticket to Episode 9, they think that you are stupid. They think that all they need to do is shove familiar imagery in your face and you'll just react like Pavlov's fucking dog. And like, I understand why that imagery provokes a reaction. Like you do have a connection to it. It makes you feel something. But they're putting in the absolute fucking minimum of effort here. And they're not giving you anything other than old imagery that you already like, cynically redeployed for no reason other than to make large amounts of money. Like I'm working on my new site, encyclopedia.zone. It's taken a little longer than I'd prefer, but when you make a 1990s style straight HTML website, there's a lot of I's you got to dot and a lot of T's you got to cross, and there's kind of no fast way to do it. Like part of what I'm doing here is I'm trying to do it. They're trying to go the long way around because I think it's more virtuous. And the best website of the 1990s, in my opinion, was Old Man Murray. That was a site by Eric Wolplaw and Chet. I don't know his last name, but Eric Wolplaw went on to write fucking Portal. He did a lot of stuff for Team Fortress 2. Maybe he came up with some very entertaining hats that you're familiar with. But in the 90s, he was the most incisive fucking critic on the video game industry that was posting online, and his site was fucking beautiful. Like it would have these cool sidebars. It was kind of like Mad Magazine. It was super dense with jokes. And one of the best things that Old Man Murray ever did was this article where they figured out a quote unquote scientific way to rate games, which is that all video games include crates because you have to put ammo and health in something. So Eric's theory was that you could tell the exact moment when a company or a developer stopped giving a shit about the game that they were developing when you saw a crate, because that was the moment where they had completely run out of ideas and were just coasting on stuff that had become like accepted practice in video games in general. This doesn't totally work out, but it made a good premise for a funny article. For example, like Doom starts you out looking at 2 barrels of toxic waste. So according to the crate review system, Doom gets one of the lowest possible scores because it is a 0-second start to crate ratio. And it's a very funny story. I'll link it in the description. Anyway, there is a game that he reviewed through the crate review system called Boxel, and the review was literally crates are prominently featured on the box Like the box for the game prominently featured crates, which actually resulted in it getting a negative score. So I remember when episode 3 came out, I actually got interviewed on local news because they did one of those things where when you get out of the movie, there was a news cameraman waiting to like get everybody's reaction. And I called it the most expensive toy commercial anybody had ever made. Um, and that's how I felt about it. Like I saw all those ships and all those stormtroopers, like just too many designs in my 2005 opinion. And I was like, oh, they're just gonna fucking relentlessly market all of this imagery. Like this movie only exists to produce relentlessly marketable imagery. Which, like, yeah, duh. I mean, that's what Star Wars is. It is an engine that produces relentlessly marketable imagery. Excuse me, and at the time, I thought that this represented like the most crass corporatist thinking I'd ever seen in like a big fantasy movie like this, and I was disgusted by it. But like then you see a literal action figure being used on the poster to the film. Like this is this is a new level, a new low perhaps. Um, in any case, it seems to be an indication that like I know everybody's happy that they're making the Obi-Wan Kenobi mini series, and like I'm not surprised that they're doing it. And also, all of Disney's like promotional stuff around the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, including stories on like integrated quote unquote independent media places like IO9 and stuff, is using the "hello there" quote, which is a meme on r/prequel memes because it's something that Obi-Wan says in Episode 3. Like the reason they're making the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and the reason they're casting Ewan McGregor is not because these people are fucking like it's simple. Prequel Beams is one of the biggest, most prominent Star Wars fan communities at the moment, and they have been memeing directly that they want to see an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie or a miniseries for like 2 years now. And when Disney announced at D23 that they were going to be fucking making one, people started making celebratory memes because they, successfully, you made the biggest entertainment conglomerate in the world do what you want, because the biggest entertainment conglomerate in the world wants your money. And r/prequel memes, you did a very good job of messaging like this is what we want, this is what we want to pay for, and it worked. So that good on you. And I know that there's some like fucking there's some good feelings that come off of that, but like don't expect this thing to be any fucking good because like they still don't give a shit. Like the fact that they're putting the Kenobi series into production proves is that somebody at Disney knows how to use Reddit at least a little. Like they still don't give a shit, and I don't think they understand why you like these movies. And they put an action figure on the fucking poster, man. They put an action figure on the fucking poster. It's not good. It's fucking shoddy. Anyway, in further Disney news, this is interesting. Okay, so in 2017 at D23, at one of these promotional events, they inducted Jack Kirby, the brilliant cartoonist who is responsible for what people today identify as the Marvel universe. He created so many fucking classic characters. With Joe Simon, he created Captain America. Stan Lee created the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Incredible Hulk. He fucking created the entire New Gods, Silver Star, which people don't really care about Silver Star. Devil Dinosaur, which I very much appreciate. Jack Kirby is, Jim Steranko called him the warrior god of American comics. And if Jim Steranko calls you a warrior god, that's a real compliment. But in 2017, the Disney company inducted him into their Hall of Disney Legends. Disney Legends. And basically, this means that they're recognizing him as a creative force that was a major contribution to the Disney company and the Disney brand. The only problem is Jack Kirby has been dead since the 90s. And the only work he ever did for Disney during his lifetime was he did a newspaper strip adaptation of their like post-Star Wars science fiction picture, The Black Hole. He never worked for Disney. He fucking was not super involved in their processes. Like he wasn't a Disney guy, except now through fucking the vicissitudes of copyright law. Disney now owns the rights to many characters that he created, and they're using them to make billions of dollars. So this is what makes Jack Kirby a Disney legend. And at D23 this year in 2019, Kevin Feige, the producer responsible for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he got up on stage in a promotional panel for the film The Eternals, which is based on a Jack Kirby property, and he called Jack Kirby a Disney legend. That's how he introduced him. That's what Jack Kirby is now. Disney legend Jack Kirby. So these fucking people are taking possession of a dead man's legacy, and they are appending their brand to it. Like, they're proud of it. It's not just like the Disney legend thing isn't just an honor, apparently. It's a branding strategy. It's we own you, even in death. Fuck, man. I mean, it's so crass and it's so disrespectful. And the Disney company has a long and healthy tradition of treating the artists that work for them like shit. But as far as I know, this is the one instance I could think of where they're treating an artist who has never worked for them, or at least never worked for them extensively, like shit. They're taking possession of the Kirby legacy that they had nothing to do with building. They didn't create a fucking style of comic book art that was totally unique. They didn't fucking elevate the comic book format to a form of pop art mythology. They didn't do that. They just came along after the hard work was already done and turned it into easily exploitable cinematic properties that go down without they go down the throat easily and without causing too much of an ipecac effect. Uh, I really dislike this company, man. I dislike what they're doing. I think that they are uh, very disrespectful to the artists that they make all of this fucking profit off of. I think they are arrogant. I think they're fucking creepy in the way that they use their power to influence mass media and to like send to market themselves relentlessly. I think that their policy of like they bought 20th Century Fox and now they're just going to like remake every profitable 20th Century Fox movie from the last 20 years. That's what they're going to do. Their policy of just like endlessly rehashing successful culture in order to make logarithmically increasing amounts of money is like creepy and dystopian. And there's this thing that people talk about online, like when you start like really slagging off a brand or a property, people say like just let people enjoy things, just let people enjoy things. And to an extent I understand that, because like you don't want to look at somebody who's like their engagement with the Disney company is basically just like, I like Beauty and the Beast, or like I like Star Wars, so I like the Star Wars stuff that they're making. Like people are devoted to brands the way that they're devoted to religious icons. It's a way of fucking organizing yourself socially. It's a way of directing your consumer behavior. It's something fun that you could do, that you can interface with easily, that has the stamp of societal approval. It doesn't require any like serious creative thinking. It's not exhausting. It's just a way to fucking have a good time within the like consumer nightmare of modern American society. So you really don't want to be mean to people that just aren't thinking about it that hard. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if just let people enjoy things works anymore, because this is a massive, massive fucking company and their behavior is really fucking reprehensible, in my opinion. Now, let's talk about something a little bit nicer. Let's talk about something a little bit more exciting. This is the most exciting thing to come out of D23, in my opinion, and it's another Disney legend. This guy's name is Michael Laney. Okay, and let's look at his. This is how he describes himself on his website, mlaneyassoc.com. This is how he describes himself. Michael Laney has over 35 years of senior level executive management experience as president, chief operating officer, or chief financial officer for divisions of Fortune 50 companies, as well as smaller, privately owned, for profit companies and not for profit organizations. During the last 4 years, I think this was written in 2007, Michael has split his time between Portland and Los Angeles, serving the nonprofit sector, providing CFO and consulting services for 4 nonprofit organizations, as well as being on 2 for-profit advisory boards and 1 governmental entity. His expertise in the areas of board advisory services, strategic planning, SEC and financial operations, marketing and promotion, management information systems, organizational planning, leadership and communication skills. Industries served include energy, education, consumer products, aerospace, electronics and metals distribution, manufacturing, and the entertainment industry. Laney was a senior executive at Walt Disney Feature Animation and then founded and led Warner Brothers Feature Animation as senior vice president, building 2 animation studios that developed, produced, and subsequently released 3 animated movies. Michael has also has entrepreneurial experience by founding and building his CPA firm in Beverly Hills during the 1970s. He wrote some books. I'm not going to go into all this stuff about his CPA firm, but he did co-author a book called Introverts and Extroverts in Love, Making It Work When Opposites Attract, which he wrote with his wife. I'm not going to name his wife. But let's go through some rest of his resume here. Let's look at some of the other stuff that Michael Laney has done. Senior Vice President, Warner Brothers Feature Animation. Vice President of Operations, Walt Disney Feature Animation. Office of the President, Vice President, CFO of Dacor. President of Children's Wonderland Incorporated. President, Cool Roof of California Incorporated. Vice President / Controller of Duo Commune Incorporated. Senior Vice President, COO, and CFO of Monarch Mirror Door Incorporated, now part of Stanley Works. CFO of Education Management Systems Incorporated, CFO of Opportunities for Learning Incorporated, and Chief Financial Officer of the Energy Trust of Oregon. So yeah, that's Michael Laney. That's a Disney legend, if I've ever heard one. This is a fucking look at that resume. Look at that impressive fucking resume. Holy shit. These are the kind of people that are the true Disney legends. They're in the back room making the sausage, counting the money. You know, these are the guys with the consulting and management experience. They understand management information systems. They know how to fucking keep a ship like the Walt Disney Company moving in the right direction. And as far as I'm concerned, these guys deserve just as much recognition as the brilliant artists that Disney posthumously recruits into their fucking army of the dead. There is one thing about Michael Laney, though, and that's that he's a registered fucking sex offender because he went to prison earlier this year for raping a fucking 7-year-old. Like, look, I'm not saying that everybody involved in the Disney management structure is a child molester. What I am saying is that this fucking company makes people so rich that they don't have to fucking obey the law. When I see Kevin Feige up on stage, my thought is not about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm wondering what the fuck he does with all of the money that he makes off of this fucking deal. I'm wondering what all of these motherfuckers are up to, because I don't trust them. I think that the elites and the fucking class of people that are at the top of our society have proven themselves to be, at best, morons, and at worst, guys like Michael Laney. So, yeah, I look at this entire fucking Disney enterprise with suspicion. And like I said, you don't want to hate on people who just aren't thinking about it that hard. And like, they just see the trailer for The Mandalorian. They're like, I like Boba Fett. That looks pretty cool. That looks fucking good. Like, look, I understand what it's like to have a fucking brain parasite that makes you want to consume. Because I have many brain parasites that make me want to consume. I grew up in America, just like the rest of you. And just like the rest of the world, practically. But Jesus Christ, don't pay for it. Don't fucking pay for it. Don't pay for sex and don't pay for fucking Disney Plus. God damn it. Encyclopedia.zone website coming soon. Everybody take care of yourselves and have a good day.